Welcome to the Employee User Manual for HRSimplified. You will note that we are on the login screen for HRSimplified. Please note the URL that is used to access the system. You will start by entering your username and password. This will be given to you by your HR administrator, and each employee will have their own username and password. You can also do a password reset if needed, and you can also do a remember me if you don't want to log in with your username the whole time. So let's go ahead and log in. Once logged in, it is important to note a few things. First of all, there are different users available in the HRSimplified package. Based on what user you are, you would be able to see certain menus, and you won't be able to see certain menus. Based on that, we can switch off access for certain levels. There are employee users, there are receptionist users, there are managers, HR administrators, finance admins, as well as HR executives. And based on the different roles, they can have different access. But the important thing to remember is each employee, no matter what level you are, will have a dashboard, which is what you're currently seeing here. Another reason you would see certain menus, if you are not seeing these, if you're seeing more of them, is that if you have a higher level employee. Also based on that, you would also have different menus based on certain features that's been activated. As features are not activated, those menus would also disappear. And the same thing with your control panel. If you do not have talent management, submit, medal and yellow cards would not be there. If you do not have time and attendance, check-in and check-out would not be there. And if you don't have COVID package, then the COVID infections reporting would not be there, and so forth. So if your dashboard has certain things missing, it might just be because you don't have the right user or your company has not subscribed to the correct package. So let's start. First of all, dashboard shows you a few very important pieces of information. Firstly, your annual leave balance. This is a live view of your current leave balance for annual days, for sick days, family days, special days, and study days. You also see if you have the COVID package activated, that there's a COVID vaccine date. This would be based on how the vaccinations are done in South Africa, and your second booking, for instance, will be nominated here. If you have a shift enabled, that will be part of time and attendance. This will also show you when your next shift is. You would see your birthdays in your company, and you would also, if you are a manager or you are a team leader that have people reporting into you, you would see their leave applications listed at the bottom, and just as well you would also see their claims listed at the bottom. Since I'm an employee at the moment, I don't see any of those because I don't have anybody reporting to me. To apply for leave, it's very simple. You click on apply leave. You choose what type of leave you would like to take: annual leave, family leave, sick leave, and so forth. You would say if it is a half-day leave, and if it is half-day, is it in the morning or in the afternoon? You would say the start date for that leave, pick a date, and you would pick an end date, let's say the 31st. You can add a note for the manager. This will go with the leave request to the manager. And we can choose that this is annual leave. It will show you how many days you have available, although it's also in the background. And we can say, you can also attach a document. This would be very helpful if you are using sick leave. You can attach your sick note by using your phone to take a photo, or just by dragging and dropping a scanned receipt into the application. And then you would do a just simple save. This would then send the request off to your manager. The manager will receive an email which will tell him to log in because there's a leave request from yourself. He would then go to the bottom of the screen, pick the leave application, click manage, approve it. You will then be informed that your leave has been approved and you can take the day off. Same thing with submitting a claim. You would choose what type of claim. Is it overtime or expenses? If it's overtime, you would enter the amount of hours. If it's expenses, you would enter the amount of money. When the claim started, the overtime and the end and the start date. What the note is about the claim. So maybe you took a client out for coffee, and you can even attach the slip of the claim. That will then be sent off to the manager once again when you save it for the manager to approve, and your claim will be processed. Other information available on the screen that's very helpful is the next tabs. You can go to My Profile. The My Profile will show you your contact information. That's your address, your postal address, your home contact number, and your email address. Please note that this email address is being used for notifications. It does not have to be the same as your username. All emails from the system to notify you of actions will go to this email address. If that is changed to something else, it will go to the other email address, but your username will stay the same. Under the skills tab, you can see what skills has been listed for yourself by the HR department. Under qualifications, you can see the qualifications that's been listed. And under history, you can see your work history that's been listed if you've maybe been with more than one company. Under My Finances, you can do two things. You can see the claims. You can see the My Payslips, depending on if you have payroll or not. So claims would be overtime and expenses. You can also from here create a claim, exactly like you would from the dashboard. Same thing with leave. You can see my leave applications. Here's the one I just applied for. I can see that it's been loaded, so it hasn't been processed yet. And I have the ability to edit it, which means I can actually retract or cancel the leave. I can also see the leave calendar, which shows me where my leave would be. So I can see there's annual leave there for myself all the way through until that day. And keep in mind that leave requests, the system automatically does not count Sundays and Saturdays. It also excludes public holidays. So in here you can see when your leave has been. Once, if you go to public holidays, you would be able to see which days in the month has public holidays. This is set up per region, so you might see different ones depending on which country has been selected for your business. So these days would also not be included in your leave application. You don't have to do anything. If you submit it from the start date to the end date, the system will deduct public holidays and weekends and only send the required amount of days to your manager for approval. Under My Documents, the system will have a few tabs. The first is My Share Documents. This is a document folder or a list of documents that HR has on record for you and that I have decided to share with you. On My Assessments, this is part of talent management. If you have a talent management package, you would have your different assessments here to view and download. If you have the COVID package, you would have your COVID forms. Once again, you can download them from here. If you have any review forms, also part of talent management, then they would be available here for action and answer. So if you have, for instance, if a review form has been sent to you by your manager for talent review, then this would be where you answer them. And under organizational documents, you would find documents that's been shared like a intranet. So if the company has shared documents that they would like to share with their employees, they would do it via this mechanism. And this would include things like policies, newsletters, that type of thing. So on this side, important to note your own documents that's been shared with you, and this side, company documents that's been shared with you. If we go down a little bit on the project side, we have tasks. This would be where a project has been registered under the time and attendance package. If your company does not have that, you would not have the projects tab. So a project manager would create tasks on a project and they would be assigned to you, so you can then come in here and then book time on those tasks. Under time and attendance, which is part of that same package, you can also see My Calendar. This would be your time calendar, so that would be all the tasks that you've checked in and checked out. At the top you've got a check-in and a check-out button. Those would stop and start the clock. Every time you check out, it will ask you for a note, and if it's billable or not, you can capture all that information, and that will go to your manager for approval, and that will create a timesheet for you. You can also go create an event after the time. So you can create after the fact, pick the dates, the times, add a note, and that will create an event for that day. Under My Timesheets will be a list of all the timesheets that you've created, all the tasks. You can submit them for approval to your manager. You select them and you just submit. Under My Team, you can see all the times that's been allocated by yourself and your team members based on the organizational setup. Under My Shifts, you can see shifts if you've been allocated to a shift. And there's also a check-in pin that you can change that can be used. That would be the pin that you use for this external check-in pad. Go back to home. You can see based on what I've just said that there is the leave, which we've seen there as well. You can also apply for leave here. You can also submit a claim, which will be the expense or the overtime claims, which you can also do under My Finances. And you can also see your leave balances. You can also check in and check out. You can also submit a medal, which is a positive point for doing something correct in the business, like a rewards. And a yellow card is only available to a manager, and that would be to deduct points for doing something wrong. Report for COVID, this would be if you have the COVID package and you know of either yourself or somebody else that has had a positive test and that you need to report to management. Thank you. That is it for the employee user. I hope you enjoyed the session.